The silence before revelation feels heavy, as if the air itself pauses to listen, and in that stillness a hidden truth begins to move with slow and powerful certainty. Before names, before titles, before stories were ever told, a force of light stood alert and watchful, carrying authority that does not need announcement and power that does not need permission. This story opens quietly but carries weight, unfolding like a door opening into a vast unseen world where archangels operate beyond fear, beyond time, and beyond human expectation. Archangel Michael says, "His presence is not loud yet it shakes the unseen foundations of darkness, and his authority flows without effort or struggle." The first shocking fact is that archangels are not gentle symbols alone, but living forces of divine order whose arrival shifts entire spiritual climates in a single instant. Their energy does not negotiate with chaos, it commands alignment, and that command moves across realms like an unbreakable law. The second shocking fact reveals that archangels do not act randomly, but move according to precision that mirrors the structure of the universe itself. Every action they take is deliberate, measured, and aligned with a greater design that humans sense only as destiny or sudden change. Nothing about their movement is accidental, and their timing carries a perfection that reshapes outcomes silently. The third shocking fact is that archangels are witnesses of humanity from its earliest breath, watching generations rise and fall without losing clarity or purpose. They are not distant observers but active guardians of balance, intervening when lines are crossed and restraint must be enforced. This guardianship is firm, unwavering, and often misunderstood as coincidence rather than authority. Amen. To get blessing sparkles 333 sparkles. The fourth shocking fact uncovers that fear reacts to archangels before darkness ever understands what is happening. Their presence alone disrupts lower forces, not through violence but through pure alignment with truth that cannot be resisted. What people call spiritual battles often end before they begin simply because an archangel has arrived. The fifth shocking fact shows that archangels do not belong to one belief, culture, or tradition, but operate beyond labels and boundaries. Their authority does not depend on recognition, language, or ritual, and their work continues whether humans notice or not. Faith does not create them, but awareness allows humans to align with what already exists. The sixth shocking fact reveals that archangels do not react emotionally, yet their actions are deeply protective and purposeful. They do not hesitate, doubt, or retreat, because their clarity is complete and their loyalty to divine order is absolute. This absence of hesitation makes them unstoppable once alignment has been declared. The seventh shocking fact is that archangels influence moments that appear ordinary, quietly redirecting paths that would have led to destruction. A delay, a change of direction, or a sudden calm often carries their silent intervention. These moments pass unnoticed, yet they alter entire futures. Amen. To get blessing glowing star 444 glowing star. The eighth shocking fact exposes that archangels carry memory older than the stars, holding knowledge of cycles humanity has forgotten. This ancient awareness allows them to recognize patterns instantly and respond before imbalance spreads. Their wisdom is not learned but inherent, flowing from their very existence. The ninth shocking fact shows that archangels are not bound by human concepts of distance or limitation. Their presence can be focused in countless places without being divided, a mystery that defies physical understanding. This is why protection can feel personal even while being universal. The 10th shocking fact reveals that archangels do not seek worship, praise, or fear, but alignment and integrity. Their role is to restore order, not to be elevated by attention. When alignment occurs, their work becomes seamless and powerful. Amen to Get Blessing Fire 555 Fire. As the script continues, the energy deepens, unfolding layer by layer like a current drawing the listener further into awareness. Archangels are not figures of comfort alone, but enforcers of balance whose compassion is expressed through correction and protection. This truth reshapes faith from softness into strength rooted in clarity. Archangel Michael says, "Strength is not aggression, but the refusal to allow disorder to remain unchallenged." His authority does not rise from anger, but from unwavering alignment with what must stand. This strength moves quietly yet leaves permanent change in its wake. The presence of archangels carries weight that can be felt even by those unaware of their names. A sudden sense of safety, clarity, or resolve often signals their nearness. These sensations are not imagination but resonance with higher order. They stand at thresholds of change, guarding transitions that define entire lifetimes. When one chapter ends and another begins, their presence ensures the passage remains protected. This guardianship explains why some endings feel peaceful despite loss. Amen to Get Blessing Gemstone 666 Gemstone. Archangels operate without fatigue, without distraction, and without loss of focus. Time does not weaken them, nor does repetition dull their resolve. Their constancy is a pillar that holds unseen realms steady. Their communication is not always through words, but through conviction that settles deeply within. This inner knowing arrives fully formed, bringing calm where confusion once lived. Such moments carry their unmistakable signature. Archangel Michael says, "Courage is awakened when truth stands close, and fear dissolves in that proximity." This awakening does not shout but settles like armor around the soul. Once felt, it does not fade easily. The reality of archangels is not dramatic noise but steady authority that does not weaken under pressure. They do not rush, because urgency does not exist where clarity is complete. Every movement they make reinforces structure that chaos cannot dismantle. Archangels stand where realms intersect, holding boundaries that must not collapse. These boundaries are not walls but living lines of balance that adjust as creation unfolds. Without this constant adjustment, disorder would spread unchecked. Their presence strengthens resolve in moments where uncertainty once ruled. This strengthening feels natural, as if courage was always present and simply awakened. Such awakenings leave lasting impact. Amen to Get Blessing Fire 111 Fire. The deeper truth reveals that archangels operate with patience that spans ages. They do not measure success by immediacy but by permanence. What they restore remains stable long after intervention. Their alignment with divine order allows no contradiction within them. This internal unity makes their authority absolute and unchallenged. Nothing fractures their purpose. Archangel Michael says, "Protection is not passive, it is active vigilance that never sleeps." This vigilance surrounds those aligned with truth like an unseen shield. Once established, it does not weaken easily. The energy they carry is calm yet unyielding. It does not need to announce itself to be effective. Its impact is felt through stability rather than spectacle. Amen to get blessing glowing star 222 glowing star. Archangels do not compete with one another, because their roles are perfectly synchronized. Each movement complements the greater structure they maintain. This harmony amplifies their collective authority. They recognize imbalance instantly, without analysis or hesitation. Correction begins the moment imbalance appears. This immediacy prevents greater disruption. Human awareness often lags behind their action. By the time understanding arrives, alignment has already been restored. This creates the illusion of coincidence. Archangels remain indifferent to recognition, praise, or denial. Their work continues uninterrupted by opinion. Purpose alone directs them. Amen to get blessing sparkles 333 sparkles. As time passes, their presence becomes more noticeable to those who remain attentive. Stillness sharpens perception, allowing subtle strength to be felt. In that stillness, fear loses its grip. Archangel Michael says, "Order does not argue, it stands." This standing creates a foundation that cannot be shaken by confusion. Those who align with it feel grounded and protected. Their influence reinforces integrity at the deepest level. False paths lose appeal under their watch. Clarity replaces distraction. They do not interfere unnecessarily, but when action is required, it is decisive. This balance between restraint and authority defines their power. It ensures harmony rather than domination. Amen to get blessing rainbow 444 rainbow. Archangels exist beyond emotional fluctuation, yet their presence brings deep reassurance. This reassurance is steady, not fleeting. It anchors the soul during transition. Their constancy remains unchanged through eras of belief and doubt. They adapt without compromising their essence. This adaptability ensures continuity. Protection from archangels often manifests as redirection rather than confrontation. Paths quietly shift toward stability. Danger dissolves before it fully forms. They hold memory of patterns humanity has forgotten. This memory guides correction with precision. Nothing is repeated without purpose. Amen to get blessing gemstone 555 gemstone. As the script moves forward, awareness deepens rather than concludes. There is no final moment where their presence ends. It remains ongoing, steady, and watchful. Archangel Michael says, "Strength that endures is strength that remains calm." This calm does not waver under pressure. It stabilizes everything around it. Archangels reinforce alignment not through force, but through truth that cannot be denied. This truth resonates at levels beyond thought. It restores without struggle. Their vigilance continues even in silence. Nothing escapes their awareness. Balance is always maintained. Amen to get blessing sparkles 666 sparkles. The continuation does not seek an ending, because their work does not conclude. Faith transforms quietly as understanding settles. Certainty replaces doubt without effort. Archangels remain exactly where they have always been. They have not withdrawn, weakened, or changed allegiance. Their presence is constant. What changes is perception, not reality. As awareness grows, alignment feels natural. Protection becomes felt rather than questioned. And so the unseen current continues, steady and unbroken. Order stands firm, guarded and maintained. The presence remains. The flow remains unbroken, moving forward with the same weight and calm authority that has carried every word so far. There is no rush in this continuation, because what is eternal does not hurry, it simply advances. The atmosphere stays dense with certainty, as if the unseen stands closer with every passing line. Archangels remain alert even when silence dominates everything else. Silence does not signal absence, it signals readiness held in perfect control. In that silence, order is actively preserved. Their vigilance does not flicker with changing conditions. Whether chaos rises or calm prevails, their awareness remains constant. This steadiness is what keeps balance intact. Protection deepens when awareness expands, not because power increases, but because resistance dissolves. Alignment allows their influence to move freely without obstruction. This movement feels natural rather than forced. Amen to Get Blessing Fire 777 Fire. The unseen structure archangels maintain is intricate and precise. Every correction fits seamlessly into the larger design without disruption. Nothing is wasted, nothing is excessive. Their authority is recognized instantly by lower forces. There is no confusion, no challenge, no delay. Boundaries are understood the moment they are established. Human strength often feels fragile because it fluctuates, but archangelic strength does not fluctuate. It does not rise and fall with emotion or circumstance. It remains exactly what it is meant to be. This constancy creates stability that spreads outward. One aligned moment influences many others. Order multiplies quietly. Amen to Get Blessing Glowing Star 888 Glowing Star. Archangels do not impose fear to command respect. Their presence alone establishes clarity that fear cannot survive. This clarity dissolves confusion without effort. They work through alignment rather than domination. Nothing is forced out of place, everything is guided back into position. This guidance restores harmony rather than creating resistance. Awareness of their presence strengthens inner resolve. Decisions become clearer, paths feel firmer. Doubt loosens its grip. Their influence is often recognized only after stability returns. Looking back reveals how disruption quietly faded. Recognition comes after restoration. Amen to Get Blessing Sparkles 999 Sparkles. Time continues, yet their watch never lapses. They remain active during moments of growth and moments of decline alike. No phase escapes their awareness. Order does not depend on attention to exist. It stands regardless of acknowledgement. Alignment simply allows peace to settle. The strength they carry does not intimidate those aligned with truth. It reassures, steadies, and reinforces what is already present. This reinforcement feels like coming home. Archangels do not retreat when misunderstood. Their commitment does not weaken with ignorance or disbelief. They remain exactly where they are needed. Amen to Get Blessing Rainbow 111 Rainbow. As the continuation unfolds, the realization deepens that nothing here is temporary. What is described does not pass away with time. It endures unchanged. Their presence is not dramatic, yet it is absolute. It does not demand attention, yet it commands respect. It operates beyond perception. Stability increases wherever alignment is accepted. Fear loses influence without confrontation. Calm expands naturally. This is how archangels continue their work, unseen yet unmistakable. They do not announce arrival or departure. They simply remain. Amen. To get blessing gemstone 222 gemstone. The current does not end, because what is maintained never concludes. Balance continues to be held, moment after moment. Protection remains active. Nothing has shifted in their purpose. Nothing has weakened in their resolve. Nothing has changed in their position. What changes is awareness, growing steadier and clearer. With that awareness, faith becomes grounded rather than fragile. Certainty settles in quietly. And the continuation stands firm, just like the presence it describes. Unbroken. Unmoved. The movement continues without pause, because what is sustained by order does not require renewal or reinforcement. The unseen remains active, steady, and fully alert, even when attention drifts elsewhere. This continuation carries the same weight, like a deep current flowing beneath a calm surface. Archangels do not shift with moods or moments. They remain anchored in purpose that does not bend under pressure. This anchoring is what keeps unseen structures from collapsing. Their presence strengthens what already aligns and weakens what resists order. This process is subtle, almost invisible, yet completely effective. Nothing unstable can remain unchanged for long. Alignment spreads quietly once it begins. It moves through thoughts, actions, and outcomes without force. What felt uncertain becomes firm. Amen. To get blessing sparkles 333 sparkles. Archangels remain active even when chaos appears loudest. Noise does not distract them, nor does intensity disturb their clarity. They see beyond surface disruption into underlying imbalance. Correction does not arrive with drama. It arrives with precision that restores stability at its source. Once corrected, repetition is unnecessary. The authority they carry does not escalate. It is already complete, already absolute. There is no need for amplification. This completeness is what creates immediate recognition across realms. Lower forces do not test boundaries that are clearly defined. Understanding precedes conflict. Amen. To get blessing glowing star 444 glowing star. Archangels maintain balance not through control, but through alignment. They do not replace free movement, they guide it back into harmony. This guidance preserves structure without resistance. Their vigilance does not diminish over time. It remains identical at every moment, unwavering and exact. Nothing slips through unnoticed. Stability often returns before awareness does. Peace settles first, understanding follows later. This order is intentional. What feels sudden is often the result of long, unseen maintenance. Archangels work ahead of disruption, not after damage occurs. Prevention is their quiet strength. Amen. To get blessing fire 555 fire. The unseen framework they guard is flexible yet unbreakable. It adapts without losing integrity. This adaptability ensures continuity across change. Archangels do not abandon areas of imbalance. They remain until correction is complete. Only then does stability hold on its own. Their presence reinforces truth without argument. False structures lose strength simply by standing nearby. No confrontation is required. This is why alignment feels peaceful rather than forced. It restores rather than replaces. It settles rather than disrupts. Amen. To get blessing. Rainbow 666 Rainbow. As continuation deepens, awareness grows heavier with certainty. Doubt loses momentum without resistance. Clarity establishes itself naturally. Archangels remain indifferent to recognition. They do not require belief to function. Their role continues regardless of acknowledgement. The calm they bring is not temporary relief. It is lasting stability that reshapes foundations. Once established, it endures. This endurance is what separates their work from fleeting influence. They do not pass through moments. They hold them steady. Amen. To get blessing. Sparkles 777 Sparkles. Their watch does not end at transition points. Beginnings and endings are equally guarded. Nothing exists outside their awareness. Archangels reinforce strength without aggression. Their authority does not threaten. It simply stands. Where they remain present, fear cannot anchor itself. It dissolves gradually, without struggle. Calm takes its place. This calm is not emptiness. It is fullness of order restored. It holds firm. Amen. To get blessing. Gemstone 888 Gemstone. The continuation remains steady because nothing here is meant to conclude. What is maintained does not fade. It remains active beneath every moment. Archangels do not withdraw when stability is achieved. They remain watchful even in calm. Balance is preserved continuously. Their presence is not dramatic, but it is undeniable once recognized. It carries weight that does not shift. It grounds everything around it. And so the flow continues, unbroken and unwavering. Order stands. Protection remains.